Praise the Most High, brothers and sisters. Let's halal the Most High. Yada the Most High. Shamar the Most High. And all the other different types of praises he deserves. He's worthy of all praise. Throughout the day, he's worthy. Brothers and sisters, I come with, I consider it a very grave message. It's been about 3 weeks, and the procrastination was partly because I didn't know how to do it, which I know Yah is faithful. He always shows me how to do what I need to do. The other part was an uncertainty. But anyways, I want to do it. I have wanted to do it. It's double-edged, I suppose. But anyways, let me get started. I'm going to begin with Tehillim 83, verse 1. Dawood writes, "Keep not silence, O Eluah. Hold not your peace and be not still, O Eluah. For lo, your enemies make a turmoil, bring in disorder, turbulence, and confusion. And they that hate you have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against your people and consulted against your hidden ones. They have said, Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Yashrael may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against you. The tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, of Moab, and of Hagarenes, Gebal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have helped the children of Lot, Selah, who said, Let us take to ourselves the houses of Eluah in possession." Today, this is like another audio on being betrayed, but it's a little bit deeper than betrayed. And that's why I say it's a very grave message. It will take you doing some research and laying before Yah. And when I say lay before him, yes, you may do it. You may prostrate yourself before him, I'm something that I need to do, but I've been doing it in my heart. And it's when you do your research and when you talk to him, you will see how all the pieces are coming together. So based on Yahuchanan, John 19, beginning with verse 6, when the chief priests therefore and officers saw him, they cried out, saying, Crucify him, crucify him. Pilate said unto them, Take him and crucify him, for I find no fault in him. The Jews answered him, We have a law, and by our law he ought to die, because he made himself the ben of Eluah. When Pilate therefore heard that saying, he was the more afraid, and went again into the judgment hall, and said to Yahushua, Who are you? But Yahushua gave him no answer. Then Pilate said unto him, Are you not going to answer me? Do you not know that I have power to crucify you, and have power to release you? Yahushua answered, You could have no power at all against me, except it was given you from above. Therefore he that delivered me to you has the greater crime. So in Matthew 24 and in Mark 13 and Luke 21, we learn there that in the last days, that day is going to come when we are going to be brought to the synagogues, just as Yahushua was, and to councils. And so when you think about the word synagogue, who has synagogues? Who was told us twice in the book of Hezon that they were synagogues of Satan, Hasatan? So, in those 3 books I mentioned, Matthew 24, Luke 13, Luke 21 and Mark 13, they also not only told us that we were going to be betrayed and brought before those councils and synagogues, but he also told us to not think about what we're going to say. You see how Yahushua answered at one point, and then another time he wouldn't answer. So, betrayals. Based on Matthew 26. Then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went unto the chief priests and said unto them, What will you give me? And I will deliver him up to you. And they coveted with him for 30 pieces of silver. And from that time he sought opportunity to betray him. How many times have I not said on some audio or another that we have got to know the people that we deal with? We need to know who it is we are associating ourselves with. It's going to be the people who know us. That's why Yahushua said in those 3 writings, Matthew 24, Mark 13, and Luke 21, that it's going to be fathers and brothers and mothers and daughter-in-laws and sisters, family members. And that's why he told that crowd that he was talking to, who is my mother? Who is my father? Who is my brother? Who is my... He didn't say father, he said mother, brothers, and sisters. And that's what we have to know. Remember, it's the covenant of the blood that's thicker than the water of the womb. We have to know who it is that we are associating with. Because Judas knew him and was around him every day, he sought opportunity to betray him. Based on Yahuchanan 18, when Yahushua had spoken these words, he went forth with his disciples, his taught ones, his Talmudim, over the brook Sidon, where was a garden, where he entered, and his Talmudim. And Judas also, that betrayed him, knew the place. See, he knew the place. He knew Yahushua's every step. He was with him 3.5 years. And once he got that money, he really started watching and planning and plotting. So he knew where Yahushua was. For Yahushua oftentimes resorted there, and his disciples. Judas then, having received a band of men and officers from the chief priests and Pharisees, came there with lanterns and torches and weapons. Yahushua, therefore, knowing all things that should come upon him, went forth and said unto them, Who are you looking for? And they answered him, Yahushua of Nazareth. Yahushua said unto them, I am he. And Judas also, who betrayed him, stood with them. It's going to be people that we know. Based on Matthew 24, verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. All right, we're going to talk about that. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Their love for truth, and their love for righteousness, and their love for the Most High is going to be gone, dead, wax cold, they said. In fact, one translation I looked up a few years ago, it said something about dead, which, think about a dead person is cold. But he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. Based on Mark 13, verse 11. But when they shall lead you and deliver you up, take no thought beforehand what you should speak. Neither do you premeditate, but speak whatever is given to you in that hour, for it is not you that speaks, but the Ruach HaKadosh. Now the brother shall betray the brother to death, and the father the son. And children shall rise up against their parents, and shall cause them to be put to death. And you will be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Based on Luke 21, verse 11, and earthquakes shall be in various places, and famines and pestilence and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from Shamaim. But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues, and in prisons. I used to think when I used to read this years ago that it meant just places of worship. But now, after what I'm going to be sharing with you, you'll see why the word synagogue is very important. So let me read that. But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons. Remember, Hosea 2, verse 10 says that some of us will be taken to prison for 10 days, but endure to the end. So being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. And it shall turn to you for a testimony. Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate before how you will answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, that all your adversaries will not be able to gainsay nor resist. And you will be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinfolks and friends. And some of you shall they cause to be put to death. And you shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But there shall not a hair of your head perish. In your patience you possess your being. Based on his own 2, fear none of those things you shall suffer before the evil one. Behold, the evil one will throw some of you into prison, that you may be tried, and you will have tribulation 10 days. Be faithful to death, and I will give you a crown of life. False witnesses. Matthew 26, beginning with verse 59. Now the chief priests and elders of the council sought false witnesses against Yahushua to put him to death. Isn't that something? They looked for false witnesses, but found none. Even though many false witnesses came, yet found they none. So I guess they weren't saying what they wanted to hear. At the last came 2 false witnesses and said, This fellow said, I'm able to destroy the temple of Eluah and to build it up in 3 days. And the chief priests arose and said unto him, Are you not going to say anything? What is it that these witness against you? But Yahushua held his peace. So Yah may have us hold our peace, and other times he may have us speak. And the high priest answered and said to him, I adjure you by the living Eluah that you tell us whether you be the Hamashiach, the Ben of Eluah. And later on, so because he didn't answer, he ended up getting hit. And you can read that, or you probably have already read it. Based on Matthew 27, and Yahushua stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, Are you the king of the Jews? And Yahushua said to him, So you say. And when he was accused of the chief priests and elders, he answered nothing. Then said Pilate unto him, Do you not hear how many things they witness against you? And he answered him to never a word. And so much that the governor marveled greatly. Based on Yahuchanan 18, the high priest then asked Yahushua of his disciples and of his doctrine. And Yahushua answered him, I spake openly to the world. Openly. I taught in the synagogue and in the temple, where the Jews always resort, and in secret have I said nothing. Why do you ask me? Ask them who heard me, what I have said to them. Behold, they know what I said. And when he had thus spoken, one of the officers who stood by struck Yahushua with the palm of his hand, saying, You answer the high priest so? Yahushua answered him, If I have spoken evil, bear witness of the evil. But if well, why have you hit me? Then Pilate entered the judgment hall again and called Yahushua and asked him, Are you the king of the Jews? Yahushua answered him, Do you say this of yourself, or did others tell you of me? Pilate answered, Am I a Jew? Your own nation and the chief priests have delivered you to me. What have you done? Yahushua answered, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight that I should not be delivered to the Jews. But now is my kingdom not from hence. Pilate therefore asked him, are you a king then? Yahushua answered, you say that I am a king. To this end was I born, and for this cause came I unto the world, that I should bear witness of the truth. For everyone that is of the truth hears my voice. Ooh, he said that in another verse. I think it's in Yahuchanan 5. There's an audio on it. Those that hear his voice shall live. Based on Yahuchanan 15, if the world hate you, he's talking to his Talmudim now, he's talking to his disciples. If the world hate you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. And now he's talking to us. If you were of the world would love his own. But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. Remember the word that I said to you, the servant is not greater than his master. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. But all these things will they do for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. Based on Matthew 10, verse 16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Therefore be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. And you shall be brought before governors and kings for my name's sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. Okay, for the Jews and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what you shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what you shall speak. For it is not you that speak, but the Ruach of your Father who speaks in you. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. And you shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endures to the end shall be saved. But when they persecute you in this city, flee into another. For verily I say unto you, that you shall not have gone over the cities of Yashrael until the Son of Man be come. The disciple is not above his teacher, nor the servant above his master. It is enough for the disciple that he be as his teacher, and the servant as his master. If they have called the master of the house Beelzebul, how much more shall they call them of his household? Fear them not, therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known. So there's several different verses where he's telling us that there's going to be betrayal, and there will be persecution. And either Timothy or Thessalonians, it says that if we live a set-apart life, we have to expect to have persecution. And Sirach also said that, I think in Sirach 2. Based on Matthew 24, verse 3, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the Talmudim came to him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of your coming and of the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach, and shall deceive many. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. Then if any man shall say to you, lo, here is Hamashiach, or there, he's here, he's there, believe it not. For there shall arise false anointings and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I've told you before. So in other words, I'm telling you now, this is what's going to happen. So they're going to have signs and wonders. It's going to be enough that it could possibly deceive the very elect. But the very elect know Yah. They know him. They know his voice. They know his ruah when he's speaking to us. So we're not going to be deceived. I think about it sometimes, like at the very moment when we're like, yeah, I think that's him. Something's gonna drop in our ruach. We're gonna know the word. Something's gonna say, oh no, no, no. We're gonna see that tail, that wolf's tail coming out that sheep clothing, and we're gonna know that it's not. So many are gonna be offended. Some are gonna be offended because of the lifestyle we live, and they're not gonna like it, and whatever. But they're gonna find reason to turn us. Some may want to eat, and so the only way they can do it is to turn us in. Who knows? But it's going to be few of us. He said that we're in the midst of sheep. We're sheep in the midst of wolves. Okay, so now the reason for this audio. I've tried to be led to bring us to this place to remind us that great deception is going to be in the world and great betrayal. But yet we are not greater than the master. He went through the same thing. So the reason for this audio is for those who are not aware of the Noahide laws. And there's a lot of information out, and I've watched several videos, and it has saddened me, but made me alert. And it has saddened me again, and because I think of the evilness and the wickedness. But these people have been at work all throughout the ages. I started out this audio reading in Tehillim 83. Remember how it said that for your enemies make a turmoil, bringing disorder, turbulence, and confusion, and that they that hate you have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against your people and consulted against your hidden ones. So this crafty counsel is this Noahide law. I am going to be putting websites and some video. I'm going to put at least 1 or 2 video link for you to watch, and then after that you can do some more research on your own. In one of the videos he had something a display of, so I'm going to read what part of what he shared on June 10th, 2013. Do you hear this date? 2013. Officials gathered at the UN headquarters in New York to learn how the 7 Noahide laws must play a key role in international efforts for world peace. Okay, I don't know how much you know, but the Antichrist that they used to talk about a lot, they don't talk about him anymore. It said that this man of sin is going to come. He's going to have all the answers to all the world problems. He's going to bring peace. Okay. Oh, I can't get into all that. You'll have to watch in the videos, okay? And then it says, and they signed a declaration of the 7 laws of Noah that emphasizes the importance of the 7 Noahide laws in maintaining justice and harmony among peoples and nations. Doesn't that sound so good? Everyone wants peace. The Institute of Noahide Code is a UN-accredited non-governmental organization dedicated to spreading awareness of the 7 Noahide laws that all peoples of the world will be obligated to follow. Do you hear this? All peoples of the world are going to follow this. Based on Hosea 12. Now, I'm not going to read that now. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to... No, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Let me read this. So, Hosea 12. And the dragon was violently angry with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. Who is her seed? Those who keep the commandments of Allah and have the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. You'll have to watch these videos. I'm going to say it again. That's going to be below for you, so you can learn what's going to take place. It went on some of the other writings that you'll see as you're doing your research. Any non-Jewish person keeping the commandments will be persecuted and be beheaded. Do you hear this? Any non-Jewish person keeping the commandments will be persecuted and be beheaded. What did Hosea 12 say? And the dragon was violently angry with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed who keep the commandment of Eluah and have the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach. They keep the commandments of Eluah, and they have the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach. And they have said any Jewish person keeping the commandments will be non-Jewish person keeping the commandments will be persecuted and be beheaded. Based on his own 20. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judged, and was given to them. And I saw the souls, the beings of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, and for the word of Eluah, who had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years. They were beheaded. Why? Because they're set apart ones who, being non-Jewish, are keeping the commandments and having the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach. So let me go to this. I have something that I need to read. So first, let me tell you this. So what they're trying to push are just 7 Noahide laws that if we don't follow them, we're going to be persecuted. We're going to be beheaded. And if we're following the commandments of Yah and his laws, we're going to be beheaded because we're non-Jews. Now they have 30. As time went on, they added more to them. And they're saying that these laws were given to Noah. To Noah. And only they can keep what was given, I guess, through Moses. But anyway, so listen to this. The first one, you shall not engage in idol worship. Sounds good, right? Sounds like it's in alignment, right? With the 10 words. You shall not blaspheme Eluah. Of course, they don't say Eluah. You shall not shed innocent blood of any human, nor fetus, nor ailing person who has a limited time to live. So no murdering. Okay, that sounds good. You shall not engage in bestial, incestuous, adulterous, or homosexual relationships, nor commit the act of rape. Okay, all right, sounds good. You shall not steal. You shall establish laws and courts of law to administer and enforce these laws, including the death penalty. You shall not be cruel to animals. So those are the 7 that we have to live by. But they really want there to be an established laws and courts of laws to administer and enforce all these laws. Okay. The 7 laws of Noah, according to Hasidic Jews, should be enforced upon all non-Jews. This means the blacks, Mexicans, Chinese, Japanese, Arabs, and etc., as well as Christians. By the Jews themselves. The entire context of the Talmudic discussion of the Noahide laws is that of actual enforcement by rabbinic courts. See, that's the synagogues that we're going to be taken to. And there are synagogues in this country. The Jews say these laws were given by Noah, by their mighty one, for the orderly government of all people. But Jews were given another set of laws at Mount Sinai much later, so they are not subject to the Noahide laws, but rather to the later ones, except, of course, for those Noahide laws that were repeated at Sinai. Also, the Jews would not pay the same penalty for violating these laws. According to the Encyclopedia Judaica, the death penalty would be violation of any one of the 7 laws, subjects the Noahide to capital punishment by decapitation. And what is decapitation? Beheading. Noahide laws, the 7 laws considered by rabbinic tradition as the minimal moral duties enjoined by the Bible on all men. The 7 Noahide laws, as traditionally enumerated, are the prohibition of idolatry, blasphemy, bloodshed, sexual sins, theft, and eating from a living animal, as well as the injunction to establish a legal system. That legal system is to be able to carry out the beheading of people who are keeping the other commandments that they say are only for them. As to the latter point, as a general rule, the Noahide is criminally liable for violation of any of these 7 laws, even though technical definition limitations would prevent liability by a Jew performing the same act. Thus, a non-Jew is liable for blasphemy, even if only with one of the divine attributes, murder even of a fetus, robbery even of less than a parita, and the eating of flesh torn from a living animal, even of a quantity less than the size of an olive. In all these cases, a Jew would not be liable. One additional element of greater severity is that the violation of any one of the 7 laws subjects the Noahide to capital punishment by decapitation. So they're planning on beheading anyone, the remnant, the seed of the woman, those who keep the commandments of Eluah and have the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach. Because they said something else in this particular writing, and this link will be also there for you. They were saying no such thing as Judeo-Christian. And so in that writing, they were saying those preachers that was pushing it, well-known televangelists, I think they called them, really pushed it. And they says no such thing as Judeo-Christian. So anyway, so it's just going to be, it just makes all this to me is coming together, and it makes sense. And when I think about all the hatred that I've seen through them, and there's one rabbi, when he's talking, you can see the hatred, yeah. And I can't tell you anymore because I'm not that versed on it. And yet at the same time, I know that because I have now made this public, it may put me in a place, but that's what messengers of Yahuwah know, that might put them in a place of danger, I guess you could say. But that's part of it, right? So this part here says a law to allow the execution of Christians and non-Jews in America was passed on March 26, 1991 as Education Day. That was with the senior Bush president, and there's pictures of him signing the order. So you can research that. There's an audio here that said things are being put in place for people to take the mark. Things are being put in place. And I just realized the other day when there was a comment from someone, and it helped me realize, oh my goodness, okay, so other people are hearing this that are not in this country. I talk as though it's only in this country, and yet I know that other people can watch, and they can just do closed caption for their language, for their tongue that they speak. And but I don't know everything that's going on in other countries, just like they don't know everything that's going on. They know enough about here, because right now, I don't even want to talk about it right now. But anyways, Let me get into the portion of closing out. Daniel 7, verse 18. But the set apart ones of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, who was diverse from all the others. So this beast is going to be different from all the other beasts. He was exceedingly dreadful, whose teeth were of iron and his nails of brass, who devoured and broke in pieces and stamped the residue with his feet. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other that came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of the horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. This beast, he seems dreadful. I remember years and years ago, I heard that the man of sin, that this false prophet or the Antichrist, the man, the man that was going to be worse than Nero or any other evil ruler that has ever lived. Those who came after Yah's set apart people. He's going to be worse. And Yah told us, Yahushua told us that a time as never has been on the face of the earth since the earth was. So Daniel goes on to say, I beheld, and that same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them, until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints, or the set apart ones, possessed the kingdom. Then he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, and there shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and it shall tread it down and break it in pieces. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them. And he shall be diverse from the first, and shall subdue 3 kings. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think, listen to this, think to change times. Okay, they're already messing with times, just dealing with the different calendars all throughout the years and centuries, and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a times and dividing the times. His own 12 talks about a time and times and dividing of times, which is the 3.5 years, 12 or 1240 days. Or yeah. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, and to consume and destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and dominion, so we can be encouraged, and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the set apart ones of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. So in closing, remember when the Jews brought Yahushua to Pilate, and Pilate says, you take him, I find no fault in him. And they said, we have a law, and by our law he ought to die. Those same words are going to be used against us. We may be taken to councils, and then the councils may turn us over to them, because it says it's for them to be the one to decapitate, to behead those who keep the laws. His own 15, verse 12, here is the patience of the set apart ones. Here are they that keep, once again, that keep the commandments of Eluah and the faith of Yahushua. Almost same wording as in his own 12, we see it in 15. And I heard a voice from Shamayim saying to me, right, blessed are the dead, so Baruch are the dead who die in Yahuwah from this time forth. Yea, says the Ruah, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. When I learned about it, so many puzzle pieces were coming together. And I know you've heard me say it before, but I've known since the latter part of the 80s that we were going to be here, and we were going to go through a time. I just never in my mind put it together that it would look like this. So brothers and sisters, we have to do what we have to do to prepare as much as possible. But he told us, don't think about what you're going to say. And with us knowing that this is going to happen, we can start preparing. And when they start really pushing it, I heard that they're trying to get the man here to start enforcing it, but it's too soon. He's got his mind on other things right now. But when the time comes, it's going to happen. And anyways, it's going to happen. And it's going to be all over the world, because remember the United Nations, if I can find that, the United Nations already had their part. But you'll see that when you do your research. On June 10th, 2013, officials gathered at the UN headquarters in New York to learn how the 7 Noahide laws must play a key role in international efforts for world peace, and signed a declaration of the 7 laws of Noah that emphasizes the importance of the 7 Noahide laws in maintaining justice and harmony among peoples and nations. The Institute of Noahide Code is a UN-accredited non-governmental organization dedicated to spreading awareness of the 7 Noahide laws that all peoples of the world will be obligated to follow. And remember in his own 13 and 14 says that the whole world followed the beast. And to me, that's it. I mean, I'm sure there's so much more to learn, but Yah's not gonna have us ignorance. He's gonna have us knowing what's going on. And I'm grateful. I'm so grateful to have come to the knowledge of this. And when you watch some of the speakers on it, it's a lot out there in YouTube. There is a lot. And something I watched today or yesterday, no, it was yesterday. It was only 5 months old. A lot of things I've seen are like a year old or somewhere around that time frame, but they're really starting to pressure it. And their Messiah, the one they've been waiting for to come, because they don't believe one already came. He's going to be the one that's going to really elevate this and make sure it takes place. So that's why Yahushua said they're going to take us to the council and to the synagogues, because that truly was not, that's not just a general statement for meeting places for worship. It meant to say synagogue. I just to think about the hatred that people can have for people, it's not a fleshly cardinal thing. It is a spiritual thing. It's an evil ruah that comes from one of the evil mighty ones, who has hated Father all throughout the ages for things that he has seen fit to do. And that's why Tahalim, I'm gonna end with this based on Tahalim 83. Keep not silent, O Allure, hold not your peace and be not still, O Allure. For lo, your enemies make a turmoil, bringing disorders, turbulence, and confusion. And they that hate you have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against your people and consulted against your hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. That's what they want to do. Ooh, they want to get all the followers of Yahuwah, that the name of Yashrael may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against you, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have helped the children of Lot, Selah. They said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Allure in possession. You know what? I didn't think about doing it, but I think I should do it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. The verses in his zone where it says that I don't know, I might not be able to find it, but there's 2 of them, and I think they're in chapter 2. Okay, Verse 9, I know your works in tribulation and poverty, but you are rich. And I know the blasphemy of them that say they are Jews, but are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. That's one of them. And then I'm not sure where the other one is, but I know it's mentioned. There it is. Thank you, Father. And then his zone 3, verse 9, behold, I will make them the synagogue. Wait a minute, let me go up. I know your works. Behold, I have set before you an open door, and no man can shut it. For you have little strength, and have kept my word, and have not denied my name. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan that say they are Jews, and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before your feet, and to know that I have loved you. All right, brothers and sisters. If we think back to what happened to Yahushua and realize that he says we're not greater than him, he came as a reflection of Father. He came to show us how to do this thing. So let's look to Yahuwah and get instructions from him, get our training from him, learn from him. And I'm still beating down my flesh, I tell you what. But it's all right. This is all time for exercising and getting the will and the flesh lining up with Father's will. And we're going to stand for him. Because when you see the evilness of these, some of them are conniving and have this way of talking about it, making it seem like, oh yeah, this is the way. They're coming after the commandment keepers. They say we're not supposed to be keeping the commandments. When the scriptures, all this is found in the Talmud. Of course, I guess you figured that out. It's nowhere to find in the scriptures. And people who are doing this, they'll say you cannot find it in the scriptures. They said that Adam and Noah was given these laws. I'm just shaking my head. Brothers and sisters, let's be equipped. Let's be knowledgeable. We don't want to reject the truth. He said in, is it in Amos or is it in, no, it's not Amos. I don't remember right now where he says that for lack of knowledge, his people will perish. It is not that the knowledge was lacking, but they rejected it. We're not going to reject truth. We're not going to reject his knowledge. So I will put this in the description for you to do some research. It'll be enough just to get you started. And, this was very like, okay, but you can't hide, you can't run, I can't hide. I was like, oh my goodness, some of these people who hear this may turn me in, but like Yahushua told Peter when Judas brought them to the garden and Peter, cut one of the men's ear off, and he said, am I not supposed to drink this cup? So whatever's our way. And I think it's Dawood, but it's in one of the Tamaim. He asked, he says, I think I remember reading it two different times where he says, show me my end, show me my days. Yahushua knew why he came and what he was supposed to do. He knew his end. He knew Judas was coming. He knew everything. We don't know everything yet, right? But some of y'all might. He may have already showed you some things. But he can show us if he sees fit to show us. But we all have our walk that we have to do. And if we love him and keep his commandments, he has so many promises, what he does for commandment keepers. And it's just so very sad to see the hatred they have when they could have been chosen. That's why too, when you think about in Yahuchanan, between 6 and 8 chapter, and when he's telling them, and they were like, you're not even 50 years old and you're saying that you were here when Abraham, or how could you say we were slaves? We were never in bondage to anybody, because they weren't the real children of Yashra'ah. Oh my goodness. It's just so much. It's just all coming together. All coming together. So if you didn't know about it, Look into it. Find out more about it. If you did know about it, if you have anything that you can share, please share with us. Please share with us. So until next time, brothers and sisters, you know we win, right? We win in Yahuwah. That's why we're going to learn to dwell in the secret place of the Most High so we can abide under his shadow, the shadow of the Almighty. So we can say of him that he is our refuge and our fortress, the one in whom we trust. He will deliver us from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence, and covers with his feathers. For under his wings we can trust. And it goes on to tell us all the different things he's going to do for us. Hide us from pestilences, destruction. Yeah, so much. So until next time, brothers and sisters, we will be encouraged. We will feel strengthened. We will get under his wings. We will call upon his name, for the name of Yahuwah is a strong tower, and the righteous run in and they are safe. We're good. Daniel says that we're going to possess the kingdom. He also says in chapter 11, they who know their Yahuwah, their Eluah, shall be strong and will do great exploits. So even though this time is coming, there's no reason why we can't be like Dawood's mighty men or Gideon's 300 men. There's no reason why we can't be like Dawood. Yahushua said that if we believe that we can do greater works than he did. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yes. We ain't going out like wimps. Look at the Maccabees. Woo! What they did. My goodness. Yeah, let's get that mind frame. Let's get that warrior mentality. Y'all gave me a song with that once. Warrior mentality. We got to put on the whole armor and get that mind that lines up with him. Brothers and sisters, I say it all the time, and I hope you know I love you. I love you. I love you in Yahuwah. And may you stay. Stay with him. You know, he said that we'll be running from one city to the next. And I told you before, I believe Yah has Goshen pockets. He has pockets where calamity will be all over the place, but not in that particular place. So we may be having to relocate here and there, or we may be the ones who have places of refuge. Hey, remember back then too, when he was with Moses, they had cities of refuge. Let's be encouraged and look at the positive in being in Yah. The positive being in Yah. If you heard that message on sometimes I don't remember the names, but the one where Nimrod and Abram and his father Terah, and Abraham didn't die, but his brother died because he wasn't committed to his belief in Yahuwah. And so when we're committed, we can look at the 3 Hebrew boys, look at Daniel and Lamb. We can go through this with victory. Even the Maccabees, the stories in that book, the great victories. So just be encouraged, brothers and sisters. You know, I don't usually go this long. I'm almost at an hour. I'm glad I got it out to share with you. I don't know. I won't know till I listen back and see how it came out. But I just want you to get something out of it and know that you got to start studying and finding what this is all about, so you don't be prepared and don't be one of the ones that's deceived. That false prophet, he says, going to be false prophets coming in his name. So you got to study and see what this is all about so you won't be deceived. Because some of those 7, and I looked at some of the 30, but I don't remember them all. But some of them seem like they're lining up. But we know there's nowhere in the scriptures. Not even in the Apocrypha do you see it anywhere. So unless you read the Talmud, you wouldn't even know about it. But it's all over YouTube. You can find videos on it. And these websites you can go to and look at some of the writings. All right. All praises be to the Most High. All praises be to the Most High. He's our protector. He's our Yahuwah Nisi. our banner of victory. And we win in him, and we are encouraged, and we're going to stay encouraged, and we're going to stay in the state of courage. We're going to resist fear, right? We're going to master courage. We're going to take control over fear. We're not going to let it master us. We're going to master it. And we're going to resist fear. Because fear may pop up. It's a spirit. And that's one of the attacks that the enemy likes to use, is to bring fear. Oh my. You know, when I try to watch those videos every once in a while, sometimes it's kind of hard to watch it because there's so many things going through my mind and my heart. It's like just the magnitude of the evil when you think about it. But I think it also starts generating a greater love for Yah, because then you start seeing a greater love for him, because you start seeing the evil, wicked hatred that they have for him from those people. One who is so gracious and so kind and so compassionate. I don't like saying the word gracious, and you can do research on that too. But anyways, okay, I am gone. I'm gone. Until next time, be encouraged and know you're not alone. Oh, it's so wonderful. I can imagine how wonderful it would be with somebody who thinks as you think, one mind. Because like I told you, the people that I know, we don't see on one accord on most things. There's a few things here and there. Isn't that something? Some of them may be the ones that's going to turn us in. It's just so sad. But there has to be a distinction between y'all two. Oh, and then he said, if you were the world, they would have loved you. But I chose you out of the world. What an honor. And may we walk worthy of the honor that he's chosen us. Until the next time, brothers and sisters, I truly love you and want you to be strengthened through all this and make it. Shalom, shalom, shalom wa, and shalama. However you say peace, get that wholeness from the Most High. Get that wholeness from the Most High. Every area of our lives. Oh, one thing before I let you go. So I was I was under investigation because some little girl said I spanked her. Because I work with children and children who are taking custody from the children and from the parents, and the parents are working on getting their children back. And I said, wow, okay, so I'm getting a little taste of this, very tiny, minute little taste of what it's going to be like to be falsely accused and have to be investigated. But yeah, I wanted to share that with y'all, and I didn't remember until just now. Yeah, so that was something. Still not quite over with it, but the investigator says that she couldn't substantiate it. She said she couldn't follow the little girl's story, but it's just the fact that somebody would falsely accuse me of something. And then I had to tell myself, don't be thinking about your name, because when it happens, it's going to be for his name that this is happening. So just be prepared, because we could be at any time be brought before the authorities. But when you hear them start talking about the Noahide laws, you better know it like I'm going to know it. It won't be long. It won't be long. It won't be long. All right. Keep preparing. Keep preparing. I love you. Talk to you soon. All praises be to the Most High. Because we win in Yah.